Fact, your follow-up segment tonight charges the Obama administration misled the American public about the ISIS threat. Last week, the Daily Beast reported more than 50 analysts working for the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, have complained that their reports on ISIS were altered, possibly by White House direction. Is that true? Joining us now from Washington, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, Senior Fellow at the London Center for Policy Research, and Fox News Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge. So, Catherine, I understand you obtained a memo about this. Tell us about it.
Well, I've got this memo here, Bill, and it's from DNI James Clapper. He is the nation's intelligence chief, and he wrote this email to members of a listserv for current and former intelligence officials after there was another report from the Guardian newspaper alleging that he had inserted himself into this intelligence controversy. And in the email, Clapper says that any of these accusations are, quote, BS, but he also confirms that he has basically a regular video conference call with some of these senior intelligence people, and he says he does it so that when he goes in to brief the president, he's got all of his ducks in a row. But someone like Tony can tell you whether that kind of video conference is really standard practice or whether it smells a little fishy.
Well, to me, as an outsider and a civilian, it would make sense that Clapper, the head of the White House intelligence apparatus, all right, would talk to simply everybody who's involved in tracking ISIS. So to me, it seems like that's vigilant to go twice a week to down there and say, you know, what's going on? I want to report back to the commander-in-chief. But that's to me. So in your experience, Catherine, is it unusual?
It does seem a bit unusual because, generally speaking, one of the reasons these very senior people have a staff is so that the staff members can talk to one another, and then the senior people can look at the bigger picture of a policy and strategy. So it depends whether the top intelligence chief has got the time and these other principals to go over this information a couple of times a week. And I would argue that this is of such significance to the intelligence community and this White House to understand what's going on. The allegation is that there's too much happy talk, and I know also from my reporting that things have kind of been on a slow boil until May, when these analysts threw down the flag and said ISIS has rolled through Ramadi. They've had 30 car bombs, 10 about the size of Oklahoma City, and this is not time for happy talk anymore. And that's kind of when the lid really flew off it. All
right, so the disenchantment among the CENTCOM intel experts on ISIS has now come out. All right, Colonel Shaffer, you're the opinion part of the segment. Do you believe that the Obama administration is purposely, all right, misleading the American public about the threat from ISIS?
Yes, absolutely. Now, let me expand on what Catherine said. Clapper says in his note he does it twice a week. My information, Bill, is that he's talking to General Grove, the senior Central Command intelligence officer, on a daily basis. This is unheard of. I have been in these video teleconferences. I used to go to a nightly VTC with General Schoonmaker and all these other guys on different operations. This is not done routinely. This is only done on surges. So the fact that this guy Clapper is calling down every day tells me that he's not simply trying to find out what's going on. He's trying to posit into the process what needs to come out of the other end. So this is where it's bad. And yes, I know some of these analysts, and let me be very clear on this, Bill, there's nothing in it for them. These people have devoted their entire lives, some of these guys have worked 30 and 40 years, simply to do what's necessary to protect the American people and our interests.
All right, what is their main,
with a great deal of reluctance.
Colonel, what is their main beef? All right, that the White House is doing what?
The integrity of the intelligence process has been compromised. The bottom line. They come up with factual information. They do factual reports. They expect those to be put up the chain of command to the decision makers in a precise, clear way.
Okay, but what is it that the White House is scrubbing out or not saying? What?
Okay. There's two things. First, the battle damage assessment, which is coming in, is being overblown. All these sorties are running. Only 1 in 4, Bill, are actually dropping bombs, and those bombs that are dropped are being phenomenally successful. So that's the actual success is being overblown regarding the simple number of sorties are running. Secondly, the bottom line conclusions of the reports are being changed. The content may not be messed with. That is to say, if you read down into it, it's all there. But the conclusions that we're winning, which has been the banner the White House has been putting forward, is completely unsupported by the data.
Okay.
Third and most importantly,
it's almost like Vietnam. Then it's like,
yes,
we have we're really doing well. These guys are on the run, but the intel that comes down doesn't support it. All right, we're going to continue on our story, and we appreciate you both coming on tonight.